Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was directed by Jeff Fowler, who also directed the first one back in 2020. Returning in the film is Ben Schwartz as Sonic, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, James Marsden as Tom the Donut Lord, among others, as well as some new faces, primarily when you're talking about Tails and Knuckles, both huge characters in the video game series for which the film is based. This time around, Eggman finds a way to escape from his prison, known as the Mushroom Planet, teaming up with a powerful echidna known as Knuckles, as they search for the most powerful emerald on the planet, the Master Emerald. Sonic and Tails also team up together to stop the emerald from falling into the wrong hands. If you're a fan of really classic video games, and even if you aren't, you probably know who Sonic is. And heck, you probably even know who Tails is, who Knuckles is, who Dr. Robotnik is. It was really just Sonic and Robotnik in the first film, but still, that movie became kind of a favorite among my kids who watched it basically on repeat at my house. I mean, I wouldn't even be exaggerating by telling you that Sonic 1 was played at my house like 20 to 30 different times, easily. And honestly, I actually really like that movie as well, mostly because I grew up loving Jim Carrey. He did a great job being his old self in that film. But this is a review of the second movie, right? So how did the second one do? Some say worse, some say better. Honestly, I like them both about equal for different reasons. The biggest compliment that I have about this film specifically is that it feels much more in tone with what Sonic is all about. So in essence, it feels a lot closer to the games than the first movie ever did. It has a game plot. More than that, not just any game's plot, but specifically a famous Sonic game plot about finding this really powerful emerald that can essentially do anything that you want it to do, not unlike the Power Stones in Infinity War. This happened time and time again in the Sonic games, so it really is fantastic to see here. The atmosphere also feels so much better with Tails and Knuckles in the fold. The action's great, the jokes are hilarious. I even had to write a few of the jokes down because they really had me cracking up. It's a solid film, and as a Sonic fan specifically, you will love it. And there's a tease for a third one at the end, not unlike there was a tease at the end of the first. And when you see it, you'll once again get super excited to see what comes out of this universe next. On the other side of the argument, though, the first film's plot, while not as close to a video game as this, was a lot simpler the first time around. We had our primary characters, we had a basic story with a basic plan of action, and that was it. You know, Jim Carrey got to shine in a much more subdued but still funny way, and it worked. Sonic fans still enjoyed it for what it was. Sonic 2, though, it is kind of busy if we're being honest. There's a lot of characters, a lot of storylines, and I'll be honest, James Marsden, he was kind of just seemed to be there out of obligation and obligation alone. He was important in the first film, so you kind of expect him to be here as well, and he is, but I kind of wish he wasn't. He felt like a third wheel, almost. Most of what he did didn't seem to be all that important, and sometimes simply distracted from the primary story, following Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik. I can't downright say that this was better than the first movie, nor can I really say that it was worse. Some aspects were absolutely better, smarter even, but some of it was indeed messier as far as writing is concerned. Keep it simple. Don't muddy the story if you don't have to. I mean, other than that, I can just say that I had fun with the movie. It was very entertaining. Jim Carrey's look as Robotnik couldn't have been better unless they maybe made his body look like the shape of an egg like in the games. With that being said, let's crack open that final score for a second. So from a technical, unbiased perspective, I think that this film was made pretty well, especially when it comes down to a video game adaptation. Visuals were great, the one-liner jokes were fantastic, Idris Elba as Knuckles was honestly fantastic, and everybody had a lot of great chemistry. The only thing that I would have changed, in order to smooth out the plot a little bit, would have just been to remove James Marsden, unfortunately. That seemed to be really disposable, and it muddied the story just a little bit. This unbiased score is 82%. As for how I personally felt about the film, or my biased score, this was a wee bit higher, at 92%, because it's honestly a fun time at the movies. It's not gonna win any awards, I don't think. But as a general fan of the first film, I can say that this was more of a fun movie as a whole. And as a fan of Jim Carrey, the dude kills it once again. Great stuff. So again, the score is 92%, and when we average out the two scores together, 82, 92, we wind up with a final rating of 87%. 87 out of 100 possible stars, or on my letter grading scale, that's an A-. Now guys, gals, Have you seen Sonic the Hedgehog 2? And if so, I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Do you have kids also? Is this their new favorite film? I have a couple kiddos myself, and there were a couple of scenes in this movie where my oldest was literally shaking in excitement. So you can't say that it didn't work out for them. Anyways, as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. Until then, peace out.